fear of judgment, worrying what other people will say about you, wondering what other people might think about you. Fear of judgment, I believe, is one of the things that stops a lot of people sharing what they really want to share or saying what they truly believe, because they're worried about how they will be perceived and therefore judged by others. And what I personally have found, that most of the time, the people that I'm truly fearful of judging me are not strangers, but it's the people who I believe know me. People like my mum, my husband, my brother, my best friends. People who see the real me. People who have seen me at my worst, people who have seen me at my best. They are the ones that I am most fearful of receiving judgment from. Now, I am fortunate that the people I've mentioned are incredibly supportive of me. Like, I've always been very supported, trusted, loved by my people. So I can't speak to the situation where that might not be the case. But even from my perspective, it's not that I actually believe that these people will judge me. It's not that I think my husband is the type of person to sit there and look at something I've done and send judgment my way. But it's more the fear of that I really feel. I don't know if that makes sense. And maybe it does if you've been in that situation where you don't truly believe, like these people that you love, you don't truly believe that they will do that. But there is still that worry that they might. There's still that worry, like, what happens if I go too far? Will they then be thinking, what the hell is she doing? Who is she? Who does she think she is? That definitely plagues me. But less so now than it used to. And I think in part it's been because over the past 5 years I've been sharing content publicly. I've been exposing more parts of my creative brain to the universe, and I've witnessed that, and I've realized that I can do it in safety, that I have got their support. So that's helped. But recently I heard somebody say, and that somebody is a guy called Richard Rudd who does Gene Keys, and I was watching one of his videos where he was talking about judgment. And what he said was that often the thing that we're truly scared of is not that we will be judged, but that we will agree with their judgment. That we internally will actually agree with their negative assessment of us. And that rang true for me, because I think if someone was to come on and judge me and say around, I don't know, my appearance, they'd say, you know, oh, you, I don't know, should have worn makeup in that video. Oh, you didn't look your best. It sort of wouldn't bother me because I don't have much of my identity tied up in my appearance. I'd be like, yeah, okay, whatever. This is my face, deal with it. But I think if someone were to come along and judge an area that is closely identified, that I am closely identified with, and that I know I have a sense of self-worth and self-value connected to, then I know that would hurt. So I know if someone came along, for example, and said something like, do you know what, Becky, the quality of your ideas, it's just not very interesting. Like, it's just a load of drivel. I Like, I don't really know why you're doing those videos. That would hurt me. Because the way I like to think of myself, full vulnerability and honesty here, is that I am somebody that does have good ideas. That what I share with the world does have value. It's meaningful. It can help people. So if somebody were to come along close to me that knows me and said, Becky, I think you'd like, actually it's not that good. The bit that would hurt is that I think that there'd be a part of me that might be like, they might be right. And that's where the real kind of, oh no, please don't judge me, would come in. So with this idea of self-judgment, or if you find yourself in a position where you're scared to share things because you're worried about being judged, firstly, I'd get clear on who specifically are you worried about being judged by? What are the things that you're worried that they'll think about you? For example, again, for me, one of them would be that, who does she think she is? Like, does she think she's special? Like, that would make me go, ooh, that would be a tender area for me, for sure. Like, that would hurt because of my own relationships to that phrase and certain things I've experienced in my life that have made that a complex thing. Because when you become aware of it, and when you become very crystal clear about, instead of just like, I'm just not going to post it because I'm worried what people think, when you can actually start to untangle what's really going on there, it gives you somewhere that you can actually more productively become aware of and work with and question and support yourself in those areas. And even if you're in a position where you're like, do you know, it's mainly this person in my life, I'm just really worried what they'll think, have that conversation with them. I've said to my husband so many times, like, I put something out there, but I'm really worried you're going to think I'm a weirdo. And he's kind of gone, what? Why would I think that? So we've been able to create that level of safety to do so. So instead of just giving yourself this, I'm not sharing because I'm scared of judgment, observe that. Become more aware of what's actually going on. Because when it's just this sweeping statement, it's hard to move on from there because it's non-specific. Whereas when you can uncover what the specifics are around this fear, then you can start to question it. You can start to unpick it. And you can start to overcome it as well. I've always said I don't know how to finish these videos. But today is no different. So I'm just going to say, see you next time.